Now, Troy Parrott etched his name into Irish folklore after a hat-trick in Hungary to keep their World Cup dream alive. It has been a remarkable week for the striker and the Republic of Ireland. Parrott's 5 goals in 2 games, including 2 against Portugal, means they've secured a playoff spot and are within a chance of reaching a first World Cup since 2002.
Honestly, I thought there was no words to describe what happened on Tuesday, but tonight it's a whole another level.
5 goals in a week against Portugal and Hungary to send Ireland into the next stage and keep that World Cup alive. You're never going to have to buy a drink in Dublin ever again.
I hope not. Look, I love where I'm from, and to be able to do this for all of them there is I can't put it into words.
Yeah, what an amazing night for Ireland. And Irish football journalist Gavin Cooney, who works for the 42.ie, is with us now. Good morning. I mean, how is the head, firstly?
It's pretty good because I made the rookie error, Rob, of flying home from Budapest last night and missing an all-time night out. But well, no, not too bad.
The good news is there could be an even bigger celebration if Ireland do get to the World Cup. But just put yesterday into words for us.
It's obviously one of the greatest Irish football moments we've seen in years and years. I would put it up there as one of the greatest Irish sporting moments I have ever seen, because the week that Ireland have just had is just ludicrous, really. I mean, turn back to September, Ireland were beaten away to Armenia 2-1, going on 4-1, 5-1. And the manager admitted that it would take a miracle to get to the World Cup. Ireland effectively had to win back-to-back games at home to Portugal, away to Hungary to have any chance of making the playoffs. And they actually went and did it for a very young squad who had become inured to defeat and disappointment and misery, who had lost to the likes of Luxembourg and Armenia and drawn with Azerbaijan, had a whole generation of Irish players and indeed Irish fans worried that they would never have one of those big nights that could stand with the great nights in Stuttgart and Giant Stadium and the Lansdowne Road of decades gone by. The fear that those would never come back. And thanks to Troy Parrott and this Irish squad, they have come back. And 2 and 4 days, the whole country is just in a kind of a state of bliss this morning, really. It's amazing what the sport can do.
What is it that's the most special aspect of it, Gavin? Is it the fact that it's given you that shot at the World Cup and this isn't a win that said, oh, well, we're finished third in the group? Is it the fact that, as you said, it's 2 in a week, that you followed up one amazing win with another? Or is it the fact that it's maybe not this season, but a slightly unlikely hero in Troy Parrott, and that this sudden surge of goals in an Ireland shirt has come at the most important time?
Obviously, Parrott is now a kind of a national hero. He had always been tipped for big things when he was younger, but had his injury battles when he was on loan from Tottenham in the Championship in League One, but has gone to Holland, first with Excelsior and now with AZ, has got fit and is playing the best football of his life. So he has, if you excuse the lame pun, he has taken flight and become, a real kind of quite elite striker now for Ireland. But I think what really matters is, Rob, I actually don't think it's even the World Cup. Obviously, Ireland have not qualified yet, and they have to go through playoffs and win another 2 games, and that is going to be very difficult. But I think what matters here is the connection has now been rekindled. The Irish public are desperate to fall in love with their national football team. It moves people and brings people together like no other sports team in the country. And like I had been saying, for years, Ireland had been in the doldrums, and a generation of fans have been denied the kind of night to kind of really build a connection with the team that will last for years through another potential dip in the future. Who knows? But it's that feeling that the country can get carried away with a football team again and a whole new generation of players. That's what has been built over these 4 days against Portugal and Hungary. And I actually think at the end of it all, that's what's most important. Obviously, if Ireland get to the World Cup, it'll be another level up again, and they have realistic ambitions of now doing so. And obviously the World Cup would greatly benefit from Ireland's presence, if we're being brutally honest about it. But even aside from the World Cup permutations, it's the fact that a country can really fall in love with its football team again has been the major achievement of the last week.
Gav, who do you want in the playoffs?
We need to figure out what pot we're in. I mean, Ireland will hope to be in pot 2, which will give them a home semi-final and slightly more winnable games, if we're being honest, against the likes of Kosovo and Bosnia maybe. But, you know, Ireland, a real cliche for you, Tim, like Ireland now won't fear anyone because no one gave them a chance at home to Portugal. There's no one of Portugal's ranking in this playoff series. Obviously, Turkey and Italy would look fairly forbidding opponents. And there's a very high likelihood that we end up with a kind of a local derby, if you want to put it in football terms. Very good chance we could get Wales or Scotland in the semi-final. But Irish fans are just so delirious of being in the playoff draw, they can't have imagined that they would be there.
Yeah.
At this point, they'll take all comers, to be honest. I think
it suits you being the underdog, mate. I mean, I'll give you no chance. Portugal, Hungary, absolutely zero chance you have any chance of getting into the playoffs. But you're there. The party could be bigger, mate, because of Troy Parrott.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'm being written off, like the players did make reference to that. Now, I have to say, the manager, Heimir Hallgrímsson, said he always believed, which is, and he was in a...
What could he say? He couldn't have said what I just said. Listen, kids, we got absolutely zero chance.
This is going up in the dressing room wall for the playoffs, by the way. Tim Sherwood's words on this show. Tim, I want to come to you because you had a bit of a chat with Troy Parrott. You went back to Spurs after you left and spoke to him. So just tell us a little bit about him, what he's like as a guy.
Well, John McDermott, who's a sporting director of the FA now, he asked me to go back. I obviously was working with a development team for a long time. I loved that job there. And I went back in and I had a chat with Troy, who was one of their stars at the time. I could tell when I was talking to him, we're looking at a little bit of his footage on the screen there, and I was analysing it for him, telling him what he needs to improve on. I could tell, and I talked about with a little bit of steel in his eye, a little bit of determination. I just fell in love with the kid's personality. You know, I just felt like I'm going to get where I need to be, and no one's going to stop me. And unfortunately for Troy, he's had to leave Tottenham to do that. Now, I've got a big question to anyone who decided to let Troy Parrott go. Now, I'm not saying Troy Parrott would be the answer for Tottenham for many years to come, take him to the Champions League, but give him the opportunity to do that. I'm not sure.
4 games he played.
I'm not sure he had a fair opportunity to prove himself. He's had to go to AZ to be able to do that, and he's not just all of a sudden appeared in these last 2 games for Republic of Ireland. He's been banging in goals like you wouldn't believe in Holland. We know it's an easier platform over there. But he never got the opportunity to show his quality for Tottenham. He never got a fair crack at the whip. Equal opportunity is what I stand for in football. And I think the kids from the academy need to get the same opportunity as the players you're bringing in. Now, Tottenham have signed players for 60, 50, 40 million pounds playing in Troy's position. And I can tell you now, they're not as good as Troy Parrott. You might as well, Tottenham Hotspur, save your money and give this kid an opportunity and spend it elsewhere. They need to look at that for the future, because there's kids underneath your nose who are good enough. If they get a little bit of love, have a cuddle, keep developing, and that boy, hopefully, for his sake, will come back and haunt them. Because at the moment, he's going the right way about it.
Gavin, we'll have to leave it there with you. Thank you very much. All I will say is...
Well done, mate.
Just select wisely with those return flights whenever the playoffs are. Thank you very much.
Thanks a million, guys. Cheers.
Let's just bring you a little bit of breaking news from the Championship, where Middlesbrough have interest in the Hammarby head coach Kim Hellberg, which puts some doubt into his potential move to Swansea City as well, who are also looking for a new manager, having sacked Alan Sheehan. Hellberg had been in London towards the end of last week having discussions with Swansea. Borough are also now actively pursuing the 37-year-old as they look to replace Rob Edwards, who has, of course, joined Wolves. But Hellberg is one of the most highly regarded young coaches in Scandinavia.